Hey everybody, on this episode of WrestleStop, Jeff and Joe are going to cover a pay-per-view PLE that happened
8 days ago.
9 days ago. Yeah, we're a little behind. We had some issues come up, but we're going to cover Clash in Paris on this episode just to give you guys our thoughts on it because we know they're important to you and you can't sleep without them. So enjoy the video. Make sure you like, subscribe, follow, click all the buttons. On to the video. Hi, everybody. I'm Joe.
Welcome back.
This is Jeff. So we got to catch up a little bit, right? We've been out of town. I've been out of town. I was in LA and Seattle for the last 12 days. Then had some medical issues I had to take care of. Jeff's also been out of town. So we got to catch up a little bit. So this is us catching up. We're going to cover Clash in Paris real quick. It's going to be a short video just so we can get our information out there. Excuse me if I'm looking down. I'm looking at my notes. First match we had was Roman Reigns versus Ronson Beed. What'd you think, buddy?
I thought it was a good match. You know, we've talked about Ronson Beed has really improved. We've always liked him, but he's really improved a lot in the last year or so. Him and Roman put on a good match. I thought for a while there that actually Ronson Beed was going to win. They had me fooled, and then Roman ended up beating him, choking out Paul Heyman to get the Shulafala and all that, and taking him out. And then as he was celebrating on the crowd, he just completely caught me off guard when Braun Breaker delivered the vicious spear from the other announce table. And they put a beat down on him.
Yeah, I was watching this while we were driving. We were driving from Los Angeles all the way up to Seattle. So I missed bits and pieces because my signal was in and out. But yeah, I think Ronson Beed is possibly like the star of the last year, maybe, in WWE. I think he's putting them like the best work, the best. His promos have gotten better. His matches have gotten better. He looked great against Roman Reigns, who I had no doubt was going to lose. Or come on, it's Roman Reigns. Mm-hmm. He was going to win that match. I wasn't too unsure of that. But who did I pick?
I'm going to my Google Sheets.
Yeah, I might have picked Ronson Beed to win that match.
I think you did because you thought he was surprised, and that's where one of the ones I picked Roman to win.
Yeah.
But I thought they would do it in a way that made Ronson Beed look dominant, and I think the way they did, while Roman got the victory, Bronson just delivered a beatdown to him during and after the match.
I was a little upset that, yes, Roman won. Bronson looked really good in that match. I think it made him look like he belonged in that upper tier, stuff like that. But then they kind of had Braun Breaker beat him up a little bit at the end, which kind of, in my opinion, diminished Ronson Beed just a little bit. I don't know. I thought it was a great match, though. I thought it was super entertaining. Again, I was on the road when I was watching it, but I thought it was a good match. I'm going to give it a solid A-. It's the highest grade I've ever given.
I will let you stick with the grades, and I'll give it a solid 1 thumbs up. And I will note that, again, I got that prediction correct.
You did, yeah. We don't got to talk about that.
Well, we're going to talk about it, though.
The next matchup, we had the Street Profits versus the Wyatt Six. I don't remember who you picked. I did pick the Wyatt Six to win just because of all the things they have coming up with, like the Halloween Horror Nights and the Bray Wyatt connection and things like that. Who'd you pick?
I also had the Wyatt Six.
Did you? Okay. The match was okay. I didn't think it was a great match by any means. I'm not a huge fan of the Street Profits. I think individually they're probably much better than they are at this point. Back in the day, I'm sure the Street Profits were great, but now they're just kind of getting stale and they're a little bit boring. I think they need their solo runs, which I hear in a rumor that it might be coming soon, which may be too late at this point, just because there's so many good wrestlers now, like single wrestlers, that they might just kind of get thrown aside. Who knows?
The mid card could use some. The Intercontinental Championship hasn't really done much. They haven't done a whole lot with the U.S. title. Jacob Fatu and in Solo going back and forth. So I think giving Montez Ford one of those mid card runs could be beneficial to him. But yeah, they've been bickering back and forth, similar to what they've been doing with Mello Don't Miz, arguing over who's going to start match or tagging each other in and out when the other person's not paying attention at all. So yeah, they're clearly building something up there.
Yeah, I don't know. The match was just okay to me. I guess if I had to grade it, I'd give it a C plus.
Yeah.
Maybe a B minus, just because I like the Wyatt 6, but that's just favoritism there. But the match was just okay. It just wasn't that great.
I agree. Yeah, give it a solid, but I'll give it a thumbs up. I don't like to go in the middle, so we'll give it a thumbs up because I don't remember being bored by. Actually, I don't remember being bored by really any of the matches of the night.
No, it was a solid card. Yeah. I think all the matches except for this one, Nikki Bella versus Becky Lynch for the title, for the women's Intercontinental title. I think Nikki Bella looked kind of rough. She looked a little rusty, which is to be expected. And that's not so much on her. I think that's more on WWE for not giving her some warm-up matches before this.
Would she have 1 or 2 tag matches before this? There wasn't a whole lot of getting her back in condition, at least on-air condition. Who knows what she was doing off stage, but there wasn't a whole lot of on-air build-up for this match. So
yeah,
like so we think this was the one that was kind of thrown in as to because of the Naomi match got canceled. So
I mean, I guess it was kind of thrown together maybe, but I think she needed another 1 or 2 matches, solo matches against other people before she entered this match, and it could have been pretty good.
Yeah.
She just looked, I don't know, she just looked rusty in my opinion. So Becky Lynch won that. I'll go ahead and give that I'm going to give it a C plus as well.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and give that one a thumbs down on the night.
He hated it because Jeff hates women.
I hate women much more than they hate me.
Next match we had up was Sheamus versus Rusev. I'm sick of this match. Yeah. I really am. I don't want to see these two wrestle ever again. However, the match was entertaining. I'll give it that. These two guys, they just smash each other, and it makes for entertaining TV. Was it good? It was good for a wrestling match.
It was good to drink and watch two guys beat the crap out of each other.
Yeah, I really didn't care who won either way. Rusev ended up winning, but does that mean Rusev's going to get a push?
Well, we'll talk about that on our Raw.
We'll talk about that on the Raw recap, but I don't know. I feel like, does this bury Sheamus?
I don't know. Yeah, Sheamus hasn't done much since he's come back from injury, except wrestles back and forth with Rusev. And yeah, I just don't know where Sheamus is at this point in his career. Rusev came back, and they're pushing him. We'll see where it goes, but I don't know. He has not impressed me.
Well, he has the look.
Does he?
Right. I think he does. He's a big beefy guy. He's a super muscular guy. He's a big monster, right? But I think what he lacks is the mic skills and things like that. Yeah. I think
he's a thick, solid guy, but he lacks the overall presentation.
Yeah.
Yes, he looks big, but everybody in wrestling is big to an extent. He lacks the presentation. His intros are boring. His mic skills are boring. Yeah, he needs whether it's a Paul Heyman or somebody, he needs that type of person.
I guess probably he needs. Yeah, I think obviously Paul Heyman probably isn't going to be the guy, but he needs somebody to elevate him to the next level. Yeah,
maybe he'll sign with Kiana James and Julia Gulia.
We'll talk about that later. No, that's the answer to that. So anyway, Rusev won. Good match. I'm going to give it a B plus. I enjoyed the match. I thought it was pretty good. I enjoyed it.
If I had to give that one, I'll give that one a thumbs down, just because I don't think I would sit through it again. Wow, it was just guys beating each other up in a wrestling ring.
That's what it's supposed to be.
This isn't 1978 anymore, Joe. I want a little more excitement in my wrestling matches. I don't want to see Dick the Bruiser anymore.
Okay, all right. B plus. It was a good match. Next up, we had John Cena versus Logan Paul. I think this match was probably the match of the night, in my opinion. I think, I'm going to give it, I'll give it an A. not an A plus, but an A. I think Logan Paul coming out and he did a lot of things that he doesn't normally do. He just wrestled a straight match. There was no cheating. There was no weird stuff going on. It was just Logan Paul versus John Cena. And I dare to say Logan Paul has probably more skill than John Cena does in the wrestling ring.
Definitely at this point of their careers, yes. But John Cena, they both, Logan Paul's an ever improving wrestler, but it was good to see John Cena improving from WrestleMania to SummerSlam to this. Like his matches seem to get better as he's been back. I think he's improving some of the ring rust and all that. But yeah, that's probably definitely the best match of the year that I've seen John Cena in so far.
And I can say the same about Logan Paul, right? This was definitely the best match that I've seen Logan Paul in.
Yeah.
And I've been a fan of Logan Paul. I think Logan Paul is great in the wrestling ring. I'm outside, don't care. As far as wrestling goes, I think Logan Paul is very good. And I think he kind of showed it off a little bit in that match. I think he looked like a wrestler, right? He looked good. In my opinion. I already gave my grade. So did you give it?
Thumbs up.
Thumbs up. Thumbs up from this guy right here. Last match of the night we had was the Fatal 4-Way. LA Knight, Seth Rollins, CM Punk, and who am I forgetting? Jey Uso. Yeah. In that match. I was pulling for LA Knight. I really think it would have done wonders for WWE to pull a swerve on everybody. Whether everybody liked it or not, doesn't matter. Just to pull a swerve, make something crazy happen, and let LA Knight win that match. Seth Rollins won because his wife showed up in the mask and all that crap. That brought it down for me when they pulled the mask off and it was Becky Lynch. I just didn't care anymore at that point. I was kind of disappointed. I can see you disagree, but
I like that storyline. Seth Rollins going in after Braun Breaker and Ronson Beed got banned for the match, said, I don't need anybody's help. I should be able to do this on my own.
Wife's help?
Who more to rely on in your life than your significant other to save you in your time of need? I like it only because Becky Lynch, since they both went heel. I've been calling this since WrestleMania. I've been looking for it. I'm glad it finally happened. I did like the way they pulled it off. Becky Lynch, I think the last week and a half, I think she's been a lot better heel with Seth Rollins in the vision than she was on her own. I just like the move overall for them as a group.
I didn't like it. I didn't care for it. And to me, it wasn't like one of those, oh my God, so-and-so is back, or oh my God, this is a big shock to me. I just didn't care. When I saw it was Becky Lynch, I was like, Jesus Christ. Yeah. I just kind of didn't care.
Yeah, I'd been calling for, or hoping that they would add another member to the faction, whether it was another male or a female. That I've been for a while. I was asking for Grayson Waller. I thought he would be a good addition. The young cocky guy would go along well with the group. But once he joined up with the New Day, you knew that wasn't going to happen. So this, next best thing. Like I said, I think it goes well for both of their career arcs right now.
I think it was good for setting up what we're going to talk about in a different video for WrestlePalooza, obviously, but I just didn't, I don't know. I wasn't, why'd she come out in a mask? Why'd she come out and all that stuff? It just didn't, it wasn't like a big reveal, right? I just didn't care. She should have just came out. I don't know. There's a car getting broken into. We're in Detroit, everybody. This is normal.
What up, Doe?
Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. I'm going to go ahead and give that match probably a C. I thought the match was okay, but I was a little disappointed by the ending just because I didn't give two craps about Becky Lynch showing up. I just didn't care.
I'm going to give it a good thumbs up. I thought they did well. I liked the end of the match. I thought they did some good storytelling during the match. Jay taking Roman's advice and saying, you don't need to team up with anybody. Focus on yourself. Focus on, it was some good story building in the match with Jay turning on, both Roman Reigns
which
and
led
CM
to
Punk.
What, though?
What's leading to a current storyline that we'll probably be talking about in one of our next videos. So we'll see where that goes. But there's some storytelling going on there, and I thought it was a good match, so I enjoyed it as well. So I will give it a thumbs up.
All right. Well, I'm giving it whatever I said I was going to give it. So The whole show, I'm going to give a C+ to for the whole show.
Yeah,
because
I would give the overall show a thumbs up. But go ahead with your recap.
I did think it was entertaining. I thought there were some entertaining matches in there. There was just WWE to me is becoming very predictable. And yes, I know I've lost a lot of the predictions. I get it.
Predictable.
Right? Yes, maybe predictable wasn't the right choice, but it's just becoming very formulaic.
Formulaic.
Yeah. So I don't know. I was a little disappointed, but at the same time, I thought the matches were okay. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Maybe that's
you can know the end of the match and still find it entertaining.
Yeah.
There's been plenty of times I've seen a spoiler online before I can watch a PLE or a Monday Night Raw and I see who's going to win, but I'm still entertained by the overall product.
Yeah, I think the people who, like the wrestlers and stuff who put it on, did a great job. I mean, everything was good there. I just thought some of the endings were a little predictable.
So to recap on the night, I was 5-1 on predictions. I think Joe finished.
We don't need to talk about this. We can move on to the next video.
I think it was 4-2. That puts me up 2-0 on PLEs. I won the SummerSlam predictions and the Clash in Paris predictions. So we will continue to predict and track victories for matches during PLEs and Saturday night's main event as they happen in the future. And then we will keep a running total of who wins each PLE. And then we'll come up with some sort of punishment for whoever loses the predictions at the end of the year. So feel free to comment below. Let us know what you think the loser should do. Maybe they should go streaking or, go back to some crazy like the Ice Bucket Challenge or
no one wants to see that, my
friend.
Who
knows? Let us know what the what the loser should do at the end of the year.
Yes. That's at the end of the year. However, I'm a man of my word. I lost the last pay-per-view, so on one of these next videos I will pay up for me losing to that one. I don't know what it's going to be. And I don't know when it's going to be, but it'll be one of the next videos.
I think we had talked about doing a shot of my choice. So maybe on one of our coming videos, I'll bring a liquor over or something over and you can do a shot of my choice.
Fair enough. I'm in for that. So that's it. That's our quick thoughts on Clash in Paris. I did want to mention that we're going to start doing some card break videos. I got a bunch of cards over here. Woo, look at all these cards. That we're going to start doing some card break videos. The first few videos are just going to be us opening the cards. Once we get more subscribers and all of that things, we'll start raffling off or selling letters and things like that, like the other channels do. But we don't have that many viewers yet. So once we get there, we'll start doing that.
Tell your friends, tell your neighbors, tell your friends' neighbors, tell your neighbors' friends, all that good stuff.
And your neighbors' wives.
Well, wouldn't their neighbors' wives be their neighbors?
Thanks for watching the video. We appreciate you guys. We'll see you guys on the next one.